ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన NSR ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి జేఈఈ అయినా నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ NSR ఇంపల్స్.
Now, in plant growth and development, let us discuss about the concept of photoperiodism. What exactly is meaning of photoperiodism? Photo means sunlight, periodism. Periodism is nothing but amount or duration of light. Here periodism means duration. Here we are talking about duration of light. So here effect of light duration on flowering. Effect of light duration on flowering, it's called photoperiodism. Photo means we all know it's light. Periodism, it's nothing but light duration on flowering. How much light is needed for the process called flowering, it's called photoperiodism. Now if you take the photoperiodism, first time studied by Garner and Allen. So the photoperiodism concept first time studied by the two scientists. Photoperiodism concept first time studied by the two scientists Garner and Allard. The two scientists, they studied the impact of light on the process of flowering. They studied on the plant name called on Maryland mammoth. What is this Maryland mammoth? You can write this as a tobacco plant. So if you can see, this is mutant dwarf variety. What do you call this? It's nothing but a mutant dwarf variety. Mutant means, you know, it's because of mutations it got affected, and it's not the tall plant, it is a dwarf plant, and the tobacco variety, it was they referred it as Maryland mammoth. That's nothing but tobacco plant. This tobacco, it's called mutant dwarf variety. Because of mutations, unexpected changes in the genes, dwarf means it's what? Somewhat dwarf, not the tall, dwarf variety. So they did experiment on these plants and they saw that light has an impact on the process called flowering. It was referred as photoperiodism. Now in photoperiodism, let us talk about critical length. What exactly meant by critical length here? Here the light duration amount of light duration, better you write down the amount of light duration induces flowering in different plants. What I am trying to tell you here, the amount of light duration induces flowering in different plants. What is that amount of the light duration which causes flowering itself is called critical length. How much sunlight is needed to cause flowering in different plants itself is called as what? Critical length. The amount of light duration induces flowering in different plants, it's called critical length. Now based upon the critical length, the plants are divided into three categories. Based on critical length, plants are classified into three categories or three types. Okay, so for example, the minimum amount of light, for example, it may be 12 hours, it may be 10 hours, or it may be 18 hours. So the minimum amount, it may be 10 hours in some plants, it's called critical length, It may be minimum amount of light required for flowering. In some plants it may be 12 hours, it may be 18 hours. So, the minimum amount of sunlight which makes the plant to go for flowering, it's called critical length. So, what is the amount of sunlight required for flowering? It's called as what? Critical length. That's what we are writing. The amount of light duration which induces, which makes the flowers to happen in different plants, it's called critical length. So, in our own meaning we can understand, critical length is nothing but, for example, jasmine. We get flowers only in summer season. Why? The plant need to get exposed more than 12 hours. 12 hours of sunlight is needed. 10 to 12 hours. If the plant get exposed more than 10 hours for sunlight or the more amount of intensity of light, then only the jasmine plant will give flowers. That's why we get jasmine flowers only in summer season, right? Nowadays of course we are getting different jasmine varieties where because of mutations, because of genetic variations, because of mutations, nowadays we are getting jasmine flowers throughout the year. But wild varieties if you take and natural jasmine flowers if you take, jasmine flowers they will flower only after exposure to a long duration of time. So, in such plants critical length will be for a maximum time. 1 second. Sorry. So, here the critical duration will be maximum for 10 hours in jasmine plant, right. So, here based upon the duration means length of time itself is called, that's a needed light called, that's the most required length of light called critical length. Okay. So, now let us continue with let us see what the three types we have. So, before that let us discuss once again what is photoperiodism, effect of light duration, how much time it got exposed to the light, it is important to make flowers to happen in the plant. It is called photoperiodism, right. The process of effect of light duration on flowering, it is called photoperiodism. Who studied first? First time studied by the scientists Garner and Allard on the plant Maryland mammoth. It's nothing but tobacco variety. It is referred as mutant dwarf variety. It's nothing but mutant dwarf variety. Then what is meant by critical length? The amount of light duration induces flowering in different plants. So, how much amount of light is needed and how much time it is needed? What's the meaning of amount and duration? How much light intensity is needed? Quantity. How much light is needed? How much duration? How much time it is needed? That makes flowering to happen in different plants. It's called as what? A critical length. It is referred as what? A critical length. Now, based upon the critical length, critical length time vary from plant to plant here. Now, based on this, plants are classified into three categories. Now, let us continue. What are the three categories here? So, we are in the discussion of photoperiodism. Now, based on critical length, plants are classified into three categories. Let us discuss them. The first one is called as short day plants, or also referred as long night plants. Okay, what are they called? Short day plants are also called as long night plants. Short day plants means they requires less amount of light, and they expose more time in the night. Where do you find longer nights and shorter daytimes? Definitely in winter season, right? So, this all will are winter varieties. Similarly, the second category is referred as long day plants and are also referred as short night plants. And the third category is referred as day neutral plants. Let us discuss one by one. What are the three categories? Listen carefully, concentrate here. Guys, I always tell you, if you can concentrate, concept becomes very easy. We are discussing everything in the form of arrow marks. There is nothing like paragraphs and theories. Concentrate and try to understand, listen and try to revise in your mind. Put on the paper with saying, once you note down from the video class, without saying, make sure you practice on the same day. That enhances your perfect preparation from the concept. Concept is easy. What we are discussing here? We are discussing based on the critical length, we divide into three categories. What are they? Short day plants or long night plants. Second category is long day plants or short night plants, and third category is nothing but what? Day neutral plants. Next, here if you take short day plants here, let us see that here the plants expose duration of light less than critical length, Okay, so what are we discussing here? The plants exposed to duration of light less than critical length. What's the meaning of this here? Critical length is, for example, 12 hours or 14 hours or in some cases 16 hours or in some cases 18 hours. Okay, it requires less than 12 hours or less than 10 hours. Then it is called as what? Short day plants. It is called as what? Short day plants. So, here for example, I can say here. So, here it is less than 10 hours, less than 8 hours, let us take less than 8 hours, then only flowering happens, then they are called short day plants. Then they are called as what? Short day plants. Remaining how many hours you find here? Almost you find 16 hours. 16 hours they get exposed to the, so they have long night. Okay, they requires day length, I am writing here, this is day length. Okay, day length time, they require light for day length. If you take, they requires less than 8 hours of light, but you can make it complete. Alright, so what we are discussing here? Light day length flowering. So here they require less than 8 hours of light. When they require less than 8 hours of light, then they are called as what? Short day plants. They require less than 8 hours of light. They are called short day plants. When they expose to less day length time, definitely they will have exposure to the longer nights. When do you find long night and less of daytime? Definitely in winter season. You know, winter season, generally we know because of rotations of earth on sun, towards sun. So, you know, in winter season we have long night and short of daytime, right. So, at that time flowering occurs, they are nothing but winter varieties, that is why they are called short day plants, or they exposes lot of time for longer nights. So, when plants exposure to duration of light less than critical length, what is critical length here? It may be 10 hours, less than 10 hours or less than 8 hours. Now, in this case critical length is 8 to 10 hours. So, when the expose is less than 8 to 10 hours, then only flowering happens, then they are called short day plants. I hope you all understood. I repeat again, short day plants are nothing but plants exposes to duration of light less than critical length. Critical length, just imagine 8 to 10 hours, then we get less than 8 hours of light, then they are called short day plants. That means they get more time, get exposed to longer nights. Now, let us take examples of short day plants. We are writing examples of short day plants. Make a list of all examples like aster, dahlia, chrysanthemum, right. Then you can also write rice, soya bean, sugarcane, tobacco plant, as well as potato plant. What are the examples? Aster, dahlia, chrysanthemum, rice, sugar bean and soya bean, that is glycine max, sugarcane, tobacco, potato. These all plants will come for short day plants. Short day plant means they require the light less than critical length. I hope you got it. So, you have to practice all the examples. What are the examples? Aster, dahlia, chrysanthemum, rice, and then soya bean, sugarcane, tobacco, as well as potato. So, these all will come under short day plants. Now, let us continue with long day plants. Now, in case of long day plants, here same thing I am writing, plants exposed to duration of light more than critical length, Here less than critical length are called short day plants, more than critical length are called long day plants, or also called as short night plants. Okay. So, in this case we can take, for example, here if you take this is a 1, then they take more time. So, here you can draw like this. So, this is the time what they require, maybe they require more than 12 hours, or you can write better more than 10 hours, of light. When they require more than 10 hours of light, then they are called as what? They are referred as long day plants, and they get exposed to short night. Obviously, why? 10 hours of light, more than 10 hours of light they need for the process called flowering. When that more than 10 hours will happen, we all know very well. In summer season, light intensity is greater than 10 hours. And we have short nights. Obviously, in summer season, we have a duration of day is more than duration of night. We all know that, right? That's the reason why if you take summer varieties, jasmine will give flowers only in the summer. Why? It is a summer variety. Why do you call it summer variety? Because jasmine plant requires more than 10 hours of light. So, when you have longer daytimes only in summer. When do we have shorter nights? In case of summer. So, these are nothing but long day plants are nothing but summer varieties. So, here whenever plant exposed to duration of light more than critical length, what is a critical length? Let us take 8 to 10 hours. So, here also we take 8 to 10 hours. So, more than 8 to 10 hours, then only flowering occurs. They are called as what? Long day plants. Let us take examples. Examples for long day plants. So, you will get it as leafy vegetables. What all will come? We can take lettuce, spinach, and you can take barley, oat, I am writing continuation of this here, radish, beetroot. Okay. So, apart from this henbane, all this will come under what? Long day plants. Even you can take jasmine also, jasmine. Alright. So, what we find here? Lettuce, spinach, barley, oat, radish, beetroot, henbane, and including what are called as jasmine. So, these all will come under long day plants or short night plants. They requires long duration of exposure to sunlight, then only they will give flowering, right. Now, let us go with day neutral plants. What are day neutral plants? Here exposure to light has no impact on flowering, Okay. So, what are day neutral plants here? Exposure to light has no impact on flowering. So, here you can take example sunflower, tomato, right, pea plant, rose plant, and 4 o'clock plant. Right guys, you may be wondering what is this 4 o'clock plant. Definitely we will discuss about this 4 o'clock plant in the genetics part. At that time I will tell you what is 4 o'clock plant here, because there is some few points you have to remember about 4 o'clock plant. Okay. So, here what are the day neutral plants here? We say exposure to light has no impact on flowering. So, here whether they get exposed to longer night or they get exposed to shorter nights, no impact. Throughout the year we may get flower, or whenever plant reaches to maturity, then only flowers will come. Means no impact of sunlight or exposure to light on flowering. Whenever plant becomes elder, whenever hormones are released, whenever plant feel like to flower at the time of maturity, then only flowers will come. Light has no impact on flowering. Then such type of plants are called as what? Day neutral plants. What are they? You can take sunflower, tomato, pea, rose, and 4 o'clock plant. So, these are nothing but a different type of plants along with the examples. Let us have a quick review. Photoperiodism is nothing but effect of light on flowering. What is critical length? Duration of light on which it induces flowering. So, the first category is short day plants are also called long night plants. What are they? Plant exposed to duration of light less than critical length. What is critical length? Let us imagine for most of the plants critical length is 8 to 10 hours. If it is less than 8 to 10 hours, then they are called as short day plants. So, you require, this is a light, less than 8 hours of light is required for flowering. That's why they are called. Day length should be less than 8 hours, then only flowering happens. And they get exposed to long night. Long night means how much? 16 hours they get exposed to the night, but very less amount of light is enough to cause flowering. They are called as what? Short day plants. What all will come under? I repeat again, remember all the examples. Practice on a white paper, try to remember, because these examples they come in between in the other lessons. At that time I will ask you guys whether they fall in short day plants or long day plants. Then you should able to tell me that whether they fall short or a long day plant. What are they? Aster, dahlia, chrysanthemum, rice, soya bean, sugarcane, tomato, potato. All this will come under short day plants. Then what are long day plants? Lettuce, spinach, barley, oat, radish, beetroot, henbane, jasmine. These all will come under long day plants. And then sunflower, tomato, pea, rose, 4 o'clock plant. They all will come under day neutral plant. Then what are long day plants? They require more than critical length, more than 8 to 10 hours. Then only flowering happens. What are day neutral plants? Exposure to light has no impact on flowering, then they are called as what? Day neutral plants. Take into 3 categories. Practice all the examples. I am repeatedly telling you, make sure that you remember and practice all these examples. Let us continue. Now, let us continue our discussion. We are still in photoperiodism. Now, what happens whenever you get the question? I am giving you here the question. Most of the times the question appears on the paper. What is the question here? The receptor of source, or you can say the receptor of light. Okay, the source of light or receptor of light, absorption of light is, here you can write absorption. Receptor of light means absorption of light is always occurs at leaves. Always occurs at leaves. What is the meaning of this here? Now if you take, this is the thing. Now this is the thing we take. So here is this. Actually, which is the source which absorbs the light means here, this is a leaf. Leaf act as a source of absorption of light. Who absorbs the light means leaf. Leaf act as a source of absorption of light. So here leaf is acting as a receptor. Who absorbs the sunlight means here leaf act as a source of absorber. Okay, leaf act as a source of absorption of light. Leaf takes the light, then what it will do? It will send the light to here shoot apices. Then shoot apices converts into floral apices. Okay, shoot apices converts into floral apices. Shoot apices converts into floral apices. Okay, I repeat again, shoot apices converts into floral apices. How it will happen? Shoot apices means what? Guys, make sure that you need to understand meaning of each and every word. Don't ever leave smoothly that what is the word of meaning, I know everything. Don't ever show your negligence on your preparation. Try to understand the meaning of each and every word. What exactly meaning of shoot apices? No doubt apices means apical part, terminal part. What do you find on the terminal part? You know, this is a place called apical bud is there. or terminal bud is there. That gives to small young leaves or it may lead to small branches, right. But here maybe there is about to form the leaf, young leaf, it is forming some stalk. Then this is called shoot apices. Now as soon as the leaf transports, something is getting transferred. What is that? Leaf transmits florigine. What is florigine here? It is nothing but a flower hormone. What is florigine? Florigine is nothing but a flower hormone. Who is transmitting that? Leaf is transmitting. What leaf is transmitting? Florigine hormone. What is that florigine hormone? A flower hormone. What it will do? It induces flowers on shoot system. Induces flowers on the shoot system. Try to understand. If at all the question is source or receptor of light means who is the source, who is acting as a receptor in taking the light, definitely it is a leaf part. Don't ever expect flower directly formed on the shoot, no, the formation of flower of the shoot. So here what we are discussing, what will be the question asked? The question will be source or receptor of light means, remember it occurs at leaves. Generally people what they think, of course it is a simple thing, but you have to remember very importantly. Here the bud formation is happening means here don't ever expect that this is a receptor of light, no. Receptor of light or source of absorption of light is always a leaf or always leaves. Leaves will absorb the sunlight, leaves absorbs the sunlight. Then what leaves will do? Leaves will transmit, they will transmit some hormone. What is that hormone? It is nothing but florigine. What is that hormone? Florigine. What is this florigine? A flower hormone. What it will do? It induces flowers on shoot system. That means what it is doing here? It shoot apices converts into floral apices. Earlier is a shoot system, now instead of forming the leaf, now it forms the buds or it forms the flowers. Okay, so you can take this is a complete formation of the flower. Got it? That means shoot apices, this is a shoot apices converts into floral apices, means this apices now it becomes a bud for the formation of the flower. That is why now it is called floral apices. If the leaf or branch is produced, it is called shoot apices. If it is converts into floral apices, the same bud leads to formation of flower or a bud. So who is responsible? This is important. So leaves transmits F. What is F here? Florigine hormone, a flower hormone that induces flowers on the shoot system. Got clear with this? Yes. Now let us go with vernalization. Let us go with the concept called vernalization. Yes, vernalization. What is photoperiodism? So far we discussed. Photoperiodism is nothing but effect of light on flowering. Effect of light on flowering. Okay, effect of light on flowering. What is vernalization here? This is nothing but effect of, I don't know whether visible or not, better I will write down, effect of temperature on flowering. So effect of light on flowering it's called photoperiodism. Effect of temperature on flowering it's called vernalization. Okay, effect of temperature on flowering, it's called vernalization. Now let us discuss about this. What is this vernalization? Low temperature induction of flowering. Low temperature induction of flowering. Got it? So here low temperature induction of flowering, it's called vernalization. I hope you got it. Low temperature, whenever we make the plant to get exposed to low temperature, in most of the plants it is observed that when you keep the plant in low temperature, that induces flowering. That means you just take the plant, keep the place where there is very low temperature, then immediately it gives flowers. So, low temperature makes the flowers to happen, makes the flowers to produce. It is called as what? Vernalization. See how wonderful is our nature. So, you may think, what is there in sunlight? Sunlight, wake up, whole world. Sunlight is a light for the whole world to move and to continue with the day-to-day processes. Not only on human beings, sunlight is not only the source of preparing food in plants, as light is a major phenomena which is very important for the plant to cause flowering. When flowering happens, then only it leads to formation of fruits and vegetables. Without flowering, fruits and vegetables will not get formed. So, that also sunlight is taking care of. So, sunlight says, don't worry, I am here, I will make the plant to give flowers. From the flowers, vegetables and fruits will come that you take and eat and survive and plant in the earth. Right. Similarly, temperature also, it's one of the important source of environment, physical environment. Temperature is a physical factor. Right. From the light, what comes is called heat. Heat is measured in terms of temperature. We say temperature is high when heat is high. When light intensity and heating is more, temperature is high. When light intensity decreases, temperature decreases, right. So, whenever in some plants, whenever you make the exposure the plant to low temperature induces the flowering. It's called vernalization. It's called vernalization. Yes. Okay. This is studied by, first time this was being studied by a scientist Butter. Okay. It was being studied by a scientist Butter. Vernalization is being studied by Butter in the plant Lactuva sativa. Lactuva sativum. So, in which plant? Better I will write down, whether visible or not I do not know, but let me write down Lactuva sativum. Okay. Exposure to low temperature also gives flowering, was studied by the scientist Butter. In which plant? In Lactuva sativum. Important. Right. Now, here what happens here? Now, you make the plant. The plant has to expose to low temperature, then it decreases vegetative period and causes and reduces or causes early precocious reproductive period. Early precocious reproductive period. Early precocious reproductive period. So, it decreases vegetative period and reduces or causes early precocious reproductive period. What is the meaning of this? For example, if you take, maybe it may take 2 years to form vegetative organs. What are vegetative organs? Complete development of root, stem, leaves and flowers up to flower formation. That phase is called juvenile phase or it is called vegetative phase. What is the time required to form all vegetative organs of the plant completely? What are vegetative organs? Root system should develop completely, shoot system should grow completely, should have all the branches, branches need to have all the leaves, and when branches, leaves is ready, then slowly it start giving flowers. Until that it is called vegetative phase. Vegetative phase or juvenile phase produces vegetative organs. So it may take 2 years or 3 years to form vegetative organs. But when you keep the plant in low temperature, when you keep the plant in low temperature, instead of 2 to 3 years, the plant may take only 1 year. That means it decreases vegetative period. Okay, it decreases vegetative period and reduces and causes. And also reduces what? It causes, better you write down causes, early precocious reproductive period. Early precocious meaning what? Instead of after 3 years, maybe there may be formation of the flowers followed by reproduction. Now, vegetative organs are coming within 1 year, then that causes early reproduction phase. So, flowers are completely produced, no need to wait for till 3 years, within after 1 year immediately reproduction occurs, so that fruit formation occurs in very early stage. So, early precocious reproductive period means so early reproduction process takes place, then fruits, yield, grains or the cereals or the pulses what we expect the plant to produce, everything will come in very soon time, in very less time. Why? We are keeping the plant in low temperature. So, in low temperature vegetative period decreases, early reproduction takes place, early production of the grains, fruits, vegetables takes place. Then it is called as what? Vernalization. It is referred as what? Vernalization. Now, let us continue discussion about vernalization, but before continuation of vernalization, let us see what we have done now. Okay, let us come back to the first point. What is the first point? In photoperiodism, in continuation of this, what is the question? Mostly the question, whenever they give source or receptor of light means they always take shoot apices. No, source or receptor of light is nothing but leaves. Why leaves? Source of absorption of light is leaf. What leaf will do? It will take the sunlight and it produces a hormone called floragen. What is floragen? It is nothing but flower hormone. After synthesizing this flower hormone, it will transmit, it will make the move the floragen hormone to the shoot apices. Then what happens when floragen hormone comes here? When floragen hormone comes here, shoot apices converts into floral apices. Then transmits floragen, induces flowers on the shoot system. Right. This is photoperiodism. Now, let us continue with vernalization. What is photoperiodism? Effect of light on flowering is called photoperiodism. Then what is vernalization? Effect of temperature on flowering is called vernalization. So, actual definition of vernalization is, you have to remember, low temperature induction of flowering is called vernalization. Okay, what is vernalization? Low temperature induction of flowering, it is called vernalization. Vernalization is studied by the scientist Butter and in the plant called Lactiva sativum. So, in what way it is advantage for us? In what way it helps the plant to give the flowers early? So, what it will do is, when you take the plant, keep it in low temperature, first of all it decreases the vegetative period. It takes less time to form all vegetative organs, then reduces and causes early precocious reproductive period. Early reproduction takes place, early seed formation, early fruit and vegetable formation occurs by the process called vernalization. Now, let us continue with vernalization.